This is the Keelback, Lacon's dedicated combat trader and miner. And to be frank, that had me a bit worried. It seems more often than not that ships labeled as a combat variant of another ship aren't very good at anything. And because it's a Lacon, it has this shoot me here target on its massive glass canopy. On a combat ship. That didn't work out so well for me with the Chieftain. Then there's the body. It's a Type 6 with some extra bits on the side that wobble when you change direction. A Type 6 wouldn't be the first ship I would think about taking into combat. It's not a great first impression. And first impressions are important. At first glance, the Keelback doesn't seem to leave you with dreams of glory and riches. But it should. I love this ship. It is shockingly versatile. As a combat vessel, its hypothetical DPS with a fighter outguns everything else in its price range. It does have less cargo space than the Type 6 it's based on, but the ability to fend off the potential pirate if I need to, makes this ship infinitely more valuable to me. You feel a bit more at ease carrying something more than the standard batch of consumer technology. That said, it does fall a bit short if you intend on using the Keelback as a solo pirate skiff. Run and gun sessions for a batch of diamonds here and there are fine, but the Keelback has more value as a support role for a larger pirate fleet. As a resource gatherer, the ship is a delight. Hoovering up materials and cargo as you fly around the battlefield can be a treat. Still, it's not impossible to do on your own if you're looking for a challenge. Just more effective with partners in crime. It's even a fairly decent explorer. Engineered, you can get 50 light years plus per jump out of a Keelback. And that's with a shield, AFMU, and a vehicle hangar. Though you will have to make some sacrifices if you want to bring along the fighter. And listen to that boost noise. But none of these are the biggest draw of the Keelback. No. This ship is going to be your first real dedicated core miner. And it is perfect. Contrary to what you might think, you don't have to go to the far-flung reaches of some uninhabited system to go hunting for diamonds or opals. Sometimes they're right around the corner. I lose a lot of jump range when I'm fully geared for mining, but honestly, I don't really need it. I'm not going to be out in the field for 6 hours, filling up a massive cargo hold to sell for some obscene amount of money back at the station. I legitimately couldn't anyway. But I am going to leave this ring in less than an hour, about 30 million credits wealthier. And that is nothing to sneeze at. This is a 3 million credit ship that just went out and made you 30 million in less than an hour. How's that for value? Even better, I didn't have to watch my back the entire time I was out there. He was doing it for me. If somehow someone gets the jump on me, I don't have to panic and run to highwake out of the system. They'll be distracted by that fighter out there, and I can casually make my way to the mass lock zone without a care in the world. If only other similarly priced medium-class ships had a fighter hangar. And there's more. It's cheap to outfit and cheaper to repair. It runs cooler than it has any right to, and fully loaded, it can take a surprising amount of punishment for a ship so small. It's practically purpose-built for salvage missions, planetary raids, and disabling megaships. Honestly, the Keelback feels like one of the best multi-role ships I have ever flown. It just happens to be ugly. And it's yet another ship that's inexplicably named after a snake. Why not a warthog? It has the looks for it. And on the subject of the odd inconsistencies, how exactly does a Class 4 internal slot equate to 2 medium hardpoints and over 100 points of armor over the Type 6? Makes me wonder if the Type 6 is just skimping on what it can do. But I suppose that's what 2 million credits will buy you. It's also worth noting that this is a very heavy ship, that only gets heavier as you move more cargo. Its pitch rate is only slightly better than an Orca, and worse than a Federal Corvette. But now the vectored nacelle engines make a little bit more sense. To compensate for its pitch rate, the Keelback's roll and yaw speeds are on par with the Imperial Courier. Let that sink in. You should buy this ship, by the way. If you are waiting for me to tell you to, this is that moment. It should be one of the very first ships you buy as a new commander, as a matter of fact. I'd argue that skipping the Type 6 and coming straight here from the Cobra is the smarter move. Not only will it help you secure funding for ships down the road, but it is objectively a good ship to learn to fly in. It lays the foundation for a lot of lessons many commanders won't normally learn until much later. Like setting up your turret fire mode, or the appropriate amount of distance needed before you blow up an asteroid. Even seasoned veterans can benefit from a Keelback in their garage. Not just because it's a competent miner, but because of how much soul the ship has. It's quirky and fun, useful and proficient. It's a damn good little ship, even if it is ugly. Real quick, I wanted to say thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, consider hitting the subscribe button, and if you already have, then thank you again, and I'll see you next week.